led an unbelievable life. I wish everybody could live the life that I've lived. I really wish that people would live a life better than whatever life you've lived so far. I really aspire to helping people do that. We have one life to live. That's it. And make the best of it. Make the best of it. I've spent all morning talking to you about how to grow your business. Fuck your business. Put your life at priority. Make that the most important thing. I got a job being a caddy at the private country club. And when I went there, I thought I knew what the job was. Like, you're going to carry the clubs and you're going to find the ball. And after about a week to 10 days, I realized, oh my God, this is way bigger than that. Way bigger. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. These guys were like 40, 50. They're playing golf during the week. Same guys playing on the weekend. My dad worked 6 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day just to put food on the table, and he barely did that. And I discovered at 13 years old, there are people living an incredible life way better than the one I'm in this house. And if my dad knew how to do that, he'd be able to tell me, but clearly he doesn't know how to do it. But these cats do. And if I could choose between his life and theirs, I'd take theirs. All I need to do is find out how they do that. Model the masters. But I grew up in this house with a fixed mindset and told myself a lie. You know what I told myself? Shit, these are busy people. They're successful people. If I said, hey, can you carve an hour out of your day? I want to ask you some questions on how to do what you just did. They would tell me no. God damn it, that's what a fixed mindset guy does. He closes down the opportunities. But a fixed mindset person doesn't get that. They close themselves down and they miss the opportunities to be life-changing. And there I was as a fixed mindset character because of that damn house. But I'm not a fixed mindset guy. I'm a growth mindset guy, and I'm relentless. I am relentless. Figure it out. I don't need to come to their office. They come to mine. It's called the golf course. And we walk it for 4 hours side by side. So I'm going to make up the questions, and I'm going to interview them while I'm carrying their bag. I want you to visualize spending 4 hours with this kid carrying your bag, asking these questions. How did you become so successful? What were the top 3 things that you think resulted in your success? Mistakes made, everybody makes them. What were your top 3 mistakes so that I can avoid possibly making them? Advice that you would give to a 13-year-old that aspires to be somebody great in life. Those are the questions. Let me tell you the biggest takeaway that I got. So many of them told me the same thing. 1, you got to have goals. 2, the goals have to be in writing. If they aren't in writing, they're dreams. Dreams don't come true, but goals do. 3, don't pick too many. If you pick too many, you'll be diluted on your effectiveness. 4, pick an indicator of completion, a date or something like that, so that you know that you've knocked it off the list. 5, share your goals with as many people as possible. It'll put more pressure on you to get there. Today, I would call that accountability. I was 13 years old at the time. I picked 4 goals. That's not too many. And I said, I'm going to get all 4 of these done when I'm old, like 30. My first one was, what am I going to look like financially at 30 years old? What's my annual income going to be? And what's my net worth going to be by the age of 30? What am I going to look like professionally at the age of 30? I said I wanted to be the CEO of a company. I wanted to be national in size, and I wanted it to be in the money business. Where do I want to be at 30 years old education-wise? And what do I want my family to look like by the time I'm 30? And if I could figure out what I want it to look like in these 4 boxes and pull it off, I'm going to claim success. Vision. You can't get there unless you know what there is. Painted picture. All I need to do now that I know the destination is work backwards. What do I need to do between 29 and 30, 28? What do I need to do between 13 and 14 in each of these 4 boxes? I could put a presentation without moving off of this page and tell you about my life and spend 4 hours on just that one pictorial. Every day I write down every single thing I do that day that relates to those personal goals. At the end of the month, I have my HPAs of my life and a month-by-month tracking, and I can look at where I was last year for a month-to-month, year-to-year lookup. This is what I'm doing on the personal side of my life. Can you imagine how I have built and run my businesses? And please, I know you're well-intended when I'm finished here, but please do not share with me that there's an app for that. I fucking know that. If I ask the room, hands up, how many people want to be more successful? All the hands are up. I leave the stage and with a mic say, okay, what's success? Crickets. If you can't define success, then how the hell are you going to get there? The clock is moving on you. What are your values? What are your lifetime goals, your 5-year goals, your 6-month goal, your 1-year detailed plan, your bucket list? Check boxes checked all over the freaking place. What's on your bucket list? What's your boxes? What do you want to check? Where do you want to go? One life to live. Bonnie and I had a conversation when we were young in the early days of our marriage. And one of the things we discovered, the conversations were the same in both of our houses. Our parents said the same thing. When we retire, we're going to do A, B, and C. Both of our dads died around the age of 50, and none of that happened. And I said, no way am I having this life and not having it be the ride of a lifetime. I'm going to design my life. I'm going to live it big. In the book, Karen wrote a 2-page note in the book. You only get choices out of these 2. Like, there are other choices, but I only give you 2. The choice is that a policeman knocks at your door one night and tells you that your partner, your wife, died in a car accident. The other choice is she's got pancreatic stage 4 cancer and is likely going to die this year. And it's in February of 17 and she passes in November. Those are your 2 choices. Neither one of them are very appealing, but I have already been there and I'll tell you what it's like. Man, I'm glad I got that second one. Bonnie and I got to live our entire 52 years together over and talk about all the joy and how grateful we were and how magical it was and how special she was to me, to other people. And she told me, you have so much passion and energy. When I pass, you better not crawl up in the corner and feel sorry for your damn self. You better go live life big. You got to keep doing that or I'm going to be so pissed off I'll fucking haunt you. This medal has been with me since October 12th, 2013. It's the finisher medal in the Ironman World Championship. It's a big deal to me. It was on my bucket list for decades. And when I crossed the finish line, I spent a week of R&R with Bonnie on the beach in Kona with a pad and this and a chair. And I started writing the lessons I learned in doing this. And when I finished documenting the lessons, there were 7, if you want to put them on that page. There were 7 lessons that I learned in getting through the Ironman World Championship. And then I looked at her and I said, my God, Bon, you're not going to believe this. The 7 lessons are the same lessons that I built my businesses and built my life. All 3 disciplines, business, race, and life. 1, vision. I had a vision of running down Ali Drive at the end of the Ironman World Championship with thousands of people on either side. And I was inspired by a woman by the name of Julie Moss. And if you look up on YouTube, Ironman, Julie Moss, 3-minute video, it'll inspire the hell out of you. She crawled the last 50 yards across the finish line. I taped that photo of her crawling across the finish line to my mirror in my bathroom, and for 2 decades, every day, said, I'm going to do that. What's the vision? I've never built a company without a clear vision. And I had a life since 13 with a vision of what I wanted it to be. The second lesson that I learned was how important it is to have a playbook. I've had a playbook for my life. I had a playbook for my sport, and I had a playbook for my business. What are the processes that need to be followed so that we can make this a high achievement? The third lesson that I learned in achieving the Ironman was no one gets to the championship without a mass amount of practice. Businesses, my sport, all about training and practice. The fourth lesson I learned is how important it is to measure. Things that get measured get done. Measure, measure, measure. I held this calendar up with all that every day, marking down everything I did, and people were like, go into the shock, their face. Oh, what the hell? When I went over to Kona and I was sharing that with the Ironman that I were competing with, I was in the bottom quartile in terms of measurement. Those guys smoked me on what they measured. I didn't come close to what they were measuring. And by the way, I was in the bottom 25% in terms of finishing time too. There's a connection between practice, measure, playbook, and performance. The fifth lesson that I learned was how important it is to have a coach. Whether you like that word or not, you can use mentor, but some forces out there that have been there, done that, that can shorten the journey for you, make it more effective and efficient. I have 5 coaches on my personal life. I call them the board of directors of my life. I have 3 coaches on my business. I have 6 on my triathlon sport. I have a swim coach, a bike coach, a run coach, an overall triathlon coach, a strength coach, and a nutrition coach. 75 years old, 14 coaches helping me elevate my game. You going to compete in that world and think you're going to do it on your own and do it well? That's bullshit. And by the way, help your kids by telling them that they're going to grow up based on the 5 people they spend the most time with. And what I tell adults is, hey, you've heard that before. I'm going to elevate your game. Put the 5 people that you spend the most time with, but don't have any of them be blood related. And now look at the list of the people that you're hanging with. And then ask the question, are they taking your game up or down? 6th lesson that I learned is how critical it was to be fit to do that Ironman. And you know what? That Ironman, sure, we all know you got to be fit to do that. But shit, I've done what you guys do. All I know is you can handle stress and you can work longer and stronger hours the better you take care of yourself. And I have had it. I've had it with business people and entrepreneurs that tell me they can't find the time to exercise and take care of their fitness. I'm not in this shape by accident. It's by design. Do not tell me you love your kids and tell me that you don't have the time to take care of your fitness and your health. Don't tell me about how much you care about them. Show me how much you care about them. All the businesses you can build, the money you can make. If we need to live a life, life is to be loved. The 7th lesson. The 7th lesson, I'm just going to call it attitude. It's the 6 inches between your ears, the mindset. That's what it is. This was one thing that was success to me. I've got a bunch that are meaningful to me. I don't know what success is to you. I have a lot of different markers of success. This was one of them. I don't know what success is to you, but all I can think of is somewhere today, somewhere, I got to believe that I was able to give you a couple things that will enable you to raise the bar and be more successful. It's all now up to you. Thank you so much for having me today.